TheSadFan, where we talk about the good, the bad, and everything that made you sad from the previous week. And we got so many questions, so many things to go over. Did we find something that Tom Brady is bad at? Is Shedeur Sanders simply an asshole? Why was Tyreek Hill arrested for zero reason? Deshaun Watson, still a predator? Dak Prescott, did he deserve it? Notre Dame, are they good? Clemson, are they good? Oregon, are they good? What is happening in the NFL Week 1? Does it belong to the defenses? And also, why did we play a game in Brazil on a Friday night? So there's a lot going on, Wes.
There is. Week 1 is always fun.
So there's so much to talk about. But let's start with Colorado and Shedeur Sanders and just them all being an asshole. I don't know if you read the news that I sent you last night. I know you're busy, but I sent you some news last night that Deion Sanders has said...
The fight song?
They cannot play the fight song after Shedeur Sanders throws a touchdown, which
he asked them to not play the fight song.
But why, Wes?
So they could play Shedeur's rap song.
Wow. All right, so again, we're just gonna bounce right over that because just the assholery that has to go into that, the entitlement that has to go into that. The only reason I accepted this job at Colorado was to get my kids paid. That goes into that. We get it. We see it, okay? They were born on third base. It's time for us all to accept that. They're basically the balls of the NFL and college football now. He is Lonzo Ball's dad. Deion Sanders is what's his name? LaVar Ball. And
NFL.
I think Shedeur Sanders is going to be Lonzo Ball.
NFL is the great equalizer, okay? Well, so here's the thing about the Ball family. The Ball dad didn't even have... Who was he before all that? He was a nobody.
Yeah, and you know what? Deion Sanders is in coaching? A nobody.
At least Deion Sanders is famous for actually playing the sport.
Is famous.
And he was
is the
good
key
at
word
it.
there. Is famous. Because right now,
so here's
he's a
the
bad
thing,
coach.
though.
Let's not talk about... You're right. First of all, Deion Sanders is my favorite cornerback of ever all time. Deion Sanders is the best to watch. He was amazing. He was prime time. Okay? But he appears to be a bad coach. His son does nothing but blame the team. And I want to get something off the ground really quick, and I know you want to talk. But, Wes, is there anyone we hate more than the person that just blames everyone else for why they suck? Like, anyone we hate in life, not just in football. In life. The person that's like, yeah, I'm really great, but I was really bad because they suck. Like, does anyone hate that person more? Is there anyone at work that you hate more than that person, Wes?
You mean the quarterback in flag football who gets mad at his receivers for all of the overthrows?
I have to catch the ball for him too. But
yeah, I'm talking about you, Fry.
Let's not keep this too inside because the audience doesn't get that joke. At work, like in a workplace, Wes, how do you feel about the person that you go to for things and they're like, yeah, I would have gotten it done, but you know, all these jerks in the computer room just didn't get the work done that I needed for whatever it was that you needed me to do, so it's their fault. It's their fault I couldn't put up a single point against Nebraska. Like, we don't hate anyone more than that person, and that's who Shedeur Sanders is. That's who Deion Sanders is appearing to be. Because Deion Sanders was so good at his job, it probably was other people's fault. Because Deion Sanders, like I said, is one of the best quarterbacks of all time. Cornerbacks. All right? His son is not one of the best quarterbacks. His son is overrated. I've said this. It's a hype train behind Shedeur. All they did was lose last year. He flashed his watch, right? He talked smack to the student section, acted surprised. No one deserves to have their stuff stolen, but you act surprised. They all know what you have in the locker room, dude. And, like I said, you appear to be an asshole. So you've now lost all sympathy. I think you're poisonous if you enter a locker room. You are the Ball family of college football.
You really do not like Shedeur. This is like the 4th week in a row you've gone off on Shedeur.
Well, be an adult.
I'm pretty sure
you
every
want to be
week.
treated like an adult? You want to be treated like an adult? Act like an adult. You're not an adult. Own your loss.
Just ignore him, bro. So have I. I've already given my take. I don't know why you keep giving attention to this guy. This is why they do what they do. Because people just give him attention.
Thank you. There we go. Okay. That's why he does what he does, okay? Because he gets the attention. So the question...
Well, isn't that why anybody does what they do? If, like...
In today's world, it kind of
the
feels
Kardashians,
like it is in today's world.
You get media. It doesn't matter. Like, clicks is clicks.
Yeah, you're right. And that's social media now. Clicks
like,
is
people
clicks.
literally post dumb shit on YouTube that's, like, completely fake because people will be like, no, that's not how you do it. And it just generates views.
So, and I say that all the time, right, about commercials. Did you hate that commercial? And they go, yeah, that was the stupidest commercial ever. And I was like, they've already got you. And people go, why? And I'm like, because you're talking about it. And Wes, I think you're spot on. They get us to talk about them as irritated as they make us. And you're right, they suck us back into this world that they live in, which is just god-awful, right? I would not hate to live in it because I guess they're ultra-rich because of everything. But at the same time, he's going to be exposed. You wanted to do the cliche of the NFL's the great equalizer, but I just want to be on facts, no cliches. He's not good, I don't think. I think we're seeing right now when he faces adversity. You know who else did have an offensive line, Wes? Jared Goff. Okay? David Carr. Okay? Yeah. Aaron Rodgers. Okay? Like, we could go through at Cal Berkeley. He did not have a good. Okay?
I was going to say, what?
Yeah, I mean, Jeremiah Masoli didn't have a great offensive line, and he looked amazing at Oregon. Yeah. You thought he was going to be great, too, and he wasn't. I kept telling you, that guy sucks. That guy sucks, all right? But at the same time, like, these quarterbacks overcame adversity and showed that they could play. We haven't seen that from Shedeur. All we've seen from Shedeur is he needs the conditions to be absolutely perfect to perform.
So, I mean, I think he's okay. He's good. He's a good quarterback. He's not great. Obviously, he's overhyped. Yeah. I mean, I think we've kind of beat that to death. And he's going to end up getting drafted in the NFL just because of the hype train. It's probably not going to be the first round, even though everyone was projecting him to be the first round. His stock's going to drop. I mean, especially after sucking for 2 years in a row.
That's a hot take. We need to mark that down. I don't think it's going to be the first round. Like, that one is a hot take because I think the general consensus for the last 2 years. I think he's going to go top 10.
No way.
Yeah. Jake Locker.
No, you're dumb. You're dumb.
Jake Locker did.
So here's the thing, and he's either going to suck in the NFL and he's going to go into mediocrity and he's just going to be remembered as Deion's son, or he's going to put up numbers in the NFL and show us what he can do and prove us all wrong.
Thank you. That is generally what happens. Either they suck or
I don't really care out of that.
That was Wes's perfect take.
Colorado is no longer in Oregon's conference, so I no longer give two flying Fs about what Colorado does.
Either they suck or they don't suck. That's a great take on it. That should be every NFL draft analysis. Look, either he's going to suck or he's not going to suck. He has two choices. All right, so that happened to Oregon this weekend. Oregon was either going to suck or they were going to not suck. But wait, they found a way to do something else. Just slide by.
And they won.
They just slid by Boise State.
I never said they were going to blow out Boise State. Okay, I said last week we had a lot of work to do. I said our run protection sucks, which they do. It was bad until like the fourth quarter we were actually running the ball. I was shocked.
The panic text I woke up to.
Here's the thing that pisses me off. No, I never had any panic texts. Okay?
Yes, you did.
No, you're dumb. Here's the thing that pisses me off, though. Okay?
I think you sent me bleeping Oregon or something like that. And that's one of the first ones I read. And the other one I read, as you know, my co-host on Popcorn and Beers is an Oregon fan as well, is Dylan Gabriel is ass. That's another text I woke up to.
So here's the thing. Dylan Gabriel is not ass, actually. He played really well.
Yeah, no, I think Dylan Gabriel's good. But you do have a love affair with Oregon quarterbacks, but you're right in this case.
So we threw the ball like 9 times.
Yeah.
I think it was like he was 9 for 12. Yeah. We threw it 12 times. And then Boise State, whose quarterback is truly ass, they threw it like 40 times. And they have a NFL ready running back. And they did not use him. They did not use him enough. If they had pounded the ball with him, we had no answer for him, and they probably would have won. And if we had decided to actually pass, it was first and 17 because we got a holding call, and we ran it 3 straight times, including 3rd and 13. And I was like, what are we doing? Did we just like give up? where the coach is just like, all right, well, we're just going to punt it off and play field position here.
Dan Lanning thought he was still coaching at Georgia, is what happened. And he thought he was going to play bully ball and just bully Boise State, forgetting Boise State's actually a pretty good program still.
Yeah, they are. They've had some up and down years, but they've always been, like, pretty good. Yeah, they've always been hovering around top 25.
They're one of those scary teams like a Fresno State that if you schedule them, like you on the exterior are going to be like, we're going to be great, we're going to crush them. But on the interior, you're like, damn, I don't want to play Fresno State. I don't want to play Boise State. Like, anything could happen when you play those teams. And I was wrong about the App State game because Clemson just used whatever.
Yeah.
I don't know. Dabo gave them Jesus juice. Something happened. And that team was great. But Oregon... I mean, it's the same.
Lanning has to prove this year. I mean, he has to show that he can play or coach. And right now, through 2 games, he is not doing a great job.
Well, the same thing happened with James Franklin and Penn State, right? With Drew Aller. Everyone, all the analysts, and I'm going to regurgitate what they were saying. There's not one that I'm quoting in particular. All right? Everyone was saying, why did you not let Drew Aller throw the ball against Bowling Green? How did you throw the ball 9 times against Bowling Green? And it's because these coaches go out there, and I hate these conservative, tight pucker butthole coaches. Like R.I.P. to the Pirate, because I miss him. I miss Mike Leach. I want to get out there and throw the ball and just put up 40 points before halftime, right? And then run the ball. And then run the ball. It's fine after that.
I'm throwing it 40 times in the first half. I don't care.
Yeah, I want the points. I don't want to play bully ball. I don't want to soften them up. You've got better athletes than these little teams do.
Exactly.
Let them run. Like, let the horses run.
2 of those passes that were incomplete from Dylan Gabriel, literally just, like, right through the basket, and they just, like, they were streaking. They were wide open, and, like, if they caught it, it would have been a touchdown, and they just, like, looked up too late, and they weren't able to catch it.
Yeah, and Brian Kelly, keep your hands off your players. Okay, I'm all for hard coaching. Keep your hands off your players, all right? Because if one of those players touches you, that player goes to jail for life. So keep your hands off your players. But he aggressively grabbed his kicker, I believe. I believe it was his kicker.
His kicker?
Yeah. And
really, bro?
I'm just sitting here like, stop grabbing your players, man. Like, I'm good for hard coaching. That's fine. A team that probably needed some hard coaching, Wes, they probably needed a little oomph. Maybe they should have thrown the ball more, like we keep saying. Notre Dame. Notre Dame. What is
They're not good. They're not good.
Yeah,
I mean, they beat Texas A&M, but then they lose to Northern Illinois. So
since we're in PSL season, Wes, you know what a PSL is?
No.
Pumpkin spice latte. Come on, get white girl wasted with me. But
no, absolutely not. I refuse. I'm not a basic bitch like you.
So with it being Jack Skeleton season, I was watching that Notre Dame Northern Illinois game. Like, what is this? It was the stupidest, craziest thing I've ever seen. It is Northern Illinois just bullying Notre Dame.
Yeah. Definitely the upset of the year. And we have a Notre Dame fan, and he was not happy. He's like, don't talk to me.
That's the best, though, isn't it? Isn't that the best when you could just... Because I know you used to hate it when I'd be, like, in the dorm room just giving you shit about Oregon nonstop. But, like, it feels good when you're the one giving the other person shit, right?
Yeah.
Like, you feel good about it. Like, it is fun to tease people about their sports teams.
Like, how are you going to lose to Northern Illinois? I think that's their first ever win over a top 10 team.
Yeah, it is.
I mean, a top 10 with an asterisk, because let's be real, they're not top 10.
I mean, they had a win against Texas A&M. They had a good win against Texas A&M going into this game.
When was Texas A&M ever good? Last time they beat Bama, like 10 years ago?
Johnny Manziel?
Yeah.
I remember when they had Kenny Till or something like that. Kenny Hill. And he patented his name after one game, Kenny Trill, and he sucked the rest of the season. Oh my goodness. Like, sometimes these kids, like, you just got to stop them from making bad decisions. But yeah, Notre Dame loses.
They're 18 and 19 years old.
Notre Dame loses to Northern Illinois. Awful. Penn State barely beats Bowling Green. Tennessee looks for real, though, because Tennessee beat a ranked opponent with a good quarterback in North Carolina State and Grayson McCall. And it was 51-10, and Josh Heupel and the Tennessee Volunteers look like they're for
a good
real.
team.
They look like they're for real.
Well, so here's the thing. We've been saying that for the last 3 years, and they beat Alabama one of those years.
I think the last 2 years. I think the year prior they weren't for real.
This
but
is
last
the third year.
Last year we really liked Tennessee.
Well, the year before that is when they beat Alabama, and then they carried the field goal post. Some idiot tried to carry it over the end of the stadium.
Yeah, and you were super obsessed with Jalen Hyatt for like the next 3 weeks. You're like, that guy's gonna be great. He's gonna be really good in the NFL, man. Hasn't done anything. But of course, his quarterback is Daniel Jones. His quarterback is Daniel Jones. So to be fair to Jalen Hyatt, his quarterback is Daniel Jones. But go ahead about Tennessee.
So I think Tennessee is going to be really good this year. But the thing is, SEC is even more stacked this year because you got Texas, you got Georgia, Alabama looks like it hasn't missed a beat. Like, you got Oklahoma coming in. We'll see how good they are this year. Tennessee is playing Oklahoma in 2 weeks. That's going to be a good game. It's going to be the benchmark for both teams.
Yeah, and I a while back, I tried to overproduce our show. And I know you didn't see it, but I started putting a lot of graphics in. I started putting scores in. I had a little scoreboard to show scores. I'm not doing that anymore, guys. You didn't appreciate it. Give me 3 views. But what I will tell you is we are going to be here for you to drag the Notre Dames and lift up the Tennessees. And we're going to be here for you to probably be wrong in 90% of that because there's only going to be one champion. And I can guarantee you it won't be Oregon after this weekend.
I can guarantee you it won't be Tennessee.
That's fair.
I'm telling you right now, it's going to be Texas, Ohio State, or Georgia. One of those three.
I don't even think it's going to be Alabama. Alabama does not look great. They look beatable. But, yeah, Texas looks good.
I mean, they still look really good, but compared to Texas and Georgia in the SEC, that's going to be a tough mountain to climb. And then Ohio State, I think, is all alone in the Big Ten at the top.
I don't think Ohio State's as good as we think they are, but we'll get there. They haven't played anybody yet. We will get there.
They got the players. They don't play anybody for a few weeks.
But does Oregon. Oregon has the players too, but you brought up a good game.
Well,
Oregon has the players. Oregon has the players. But
here's another dark horse for national championship. USC. Their defense is really good. It's a complete 180 from last year. That was their first shutout in like 10 years.
Does USC finally have a defense? Radio that. Does USC have a defense?
They do.
And Wes, you're like, no.
They just got a shutout.
We're not going to
their defensive coordinator. I mean, he was safeties coach for the Ravens, and it seems like the Ravens just like produce amazing like defensive coaches. But he's gonna get a head coaching offer next year, I guarantee you.
Okay, Wes, and I hate to do this to you again, Wes.
Imagine if they had that defense with Caleb Williams last year.
Let's talk about that here in a minute with that Caleb Williams stuff, because I might be right about Caleb Williams too. All right, I think he's going to be okay in the NFL, but we'll get to that in a second. This Texas-Michigan game. Texas, I told you, Texas could have put up 50 points on Michigan.
It was
Texas,
good. That was. I did not expect that.
Michigan was overmatched. Texas went in there into their house and just they could do anything they wanted. Sarkisian outcoached Michigan.
Oh, for sure.
It was insane how much better Texas looked, and it was right away. Even before they started to pull away, you saw, when you looked at that field and you started watching that game, Texas is better. Texas has better athletes.
It was pretty evident from the beginning.
Yeah, Texas is stronger. Texas is bigger. Texas very clearly has the better quarterback because Warren is butt. Warren is bad. Congratulations on beating leukemia. You're a hero to all. But also, you suck. Like, you cannot throw. That guy, Michigan's quarterback Warren, cannot throw the ball. He put his receivers, when he did connect, he put his receivers in terrible situations to get blown up. He overthrew or missed wide open receivers. He is bad.
And so I think Sharon Moore is not the coach for Michigan.
No.
I mean, I wasn't impressed with him during like the 3 or 4 games that he stepped up last year. I was like, they won, but that's just because they were so much better than the other team.
Yeah.
Like, and the game planning was still done by Harbaugh. Like, all Sharon Moore had to do was stick to the game plan, and he's all at the top now. It's all his responsibility, and I don't think he's going to be able to get it done.
Yeah, he just had to show up, right? Sit still and look pretty. Now he's got to be the coach, and he's not. And Sarkisian is, and I think you're right. I think it's going to be Texas at the end of the day, and I feel bad for you because it's only.
So here's the thing, though. I want to say that Texas is it, but I can't trust Sarkisian because he was ass at UW.
He also
and he was ass at USC. That's true. That's true. Maybe sober Sarkisian's better, but he was always good for a letdown game at UW.
Yeah. Texas has only gotten better. All right, Oregon has the Civil War. Oh, we can't call it the Civil War anymore.
I'm calling it the Civil War. I don't give a shit.
Oregon has Oregon State. It was such a cool name for a rivalry. Was the Civil War? But Oregon has
so we gotta
Oregon
be
State.
PC now.
And okay, calm down. Let's not ride that one into the sunset. Okay,
I'm doing what I want.
Let's go to the NFL and actually, Cam Rising, really quick before we do the NFL. Just stop. Enough.
Just give up, bro. This is your 8th season. Just call it quits, man.
Get hurt again. I'm sorry, man. Your body has betrayed you. It's enough already. Chad Henne had to stop at Oregon. All right, so. You just got to stop at Utah. Enough's enough. You've come. You've seen.
Time to develop the future quarterback.
Yeah. If you're still too small and you're the 28-year-old guy out there, like you've had enough. It's time to give up. We don't need you out there. Also, Miami's for real. On to the NFL. Tyreek Hill gets arrested 3 hours before the game.
That just gave me major deja vu with Scotty Scheffler being arrested before his tournament earlier this year. And I was reserving judgment because I was like, well, let's see. I mean, because you could hear the cops
compared a rich white golfer to a rich black man. I think it was a different situation, but I know what you're doing. You're saying the cops are similar in this instance, right?
I was willing to give the cops the benefit of the doubt at first. Maybe he was driving like a maniac. I don't freaking know.
Yeah.
But the cell phone video, you could tell the cops were kind of being D-bags. Yeah. And then the body cam video came out, and wow, these are some power tripping cops.
And that is the whole thing. When people are like, you're against the cops. No one's against the cops. People are against assholes. All right? This cop appeared to be a total asshole. Did you read the rest of the story? That they even put Calais Campbell on the ground?
Yeah, they arrested Calais Campbell because
he tried to de-escalate the situation?
Yeah, he tried to de-escalate. Are you freaking kidding me? He didn't do crap.
Yeah.
And this whole thing started because, okay, they pulled him over, and then he went to roll back up his window after he gave them his information. And, I do that all the time at traffic stops. They go back to their cruiser to run my license. I'm going to roll up my window.
And you're not Tyreek Hill, Wes. You got to think, Tyreek Hill, outside of the Dolphin Stadium.
Outside. He was literally a minute away from the stadium.
Before a football game.
Yeah.
It's not like it's a Tuesday morning. It's Sunday morning.
There were players walking by. There were fans walking by. And they were like, is that Tyreek Hill?
Yeah. And you got to think that Tyreek Hill himself thought, oh, they're going to see I'm Tyreek Hill. When he handed the information.
Yeah. Give me a ticket, whatever, and,
we can all move on with our day.
And they said it's because he had darkly tinted windows and it's for their safety. Tyreek Hill's not going to pull a gun on a cop before a game. Let's be real here.
How many people in that car are going to pull a gun on you before a game? Did you see the car he was driving? That's one of the nicest cars I've ever seen in my entire life.
Yeah.
What's going to happen to you? You're going to be fine. And why do you need 5 cops? Here's the thing. Tyreek Hill, yes, he's a big muscular guy, but he's also 5'9".
Yeah.
He's also 5.
Yeah, they had their knee on his back and they were shoving him in the ground, and he was like, calm out. He was like, calm down, dude. I had knee surgery last year. Take it easy on me. And then they were like, oh, did you have surgery on your ears because you didn't hear us when we said leave the window down? Just douchebag comments like that, power tripping all over him because he's an NFL player.
And you know what it led to, though, Wes? He's out, and we're so happy that didn't escalate.
His lawyers are going to have a field day.
And we're so happy it didn't escalate to a place where we're talking about something terrible and sad that happened. Right. We're so happy about that. But it also led us to expose the Jacksonville Jaguars for what they are. I don't know if they're going to regret giving Trevor Lawrence one of the richest contracts in the NFL. They definitely did. Okay, and he did not play up to it. And Tyreek Hill had that breakaway. And did you see the touchdown celebration?
I did.
He had Jalen Waddle arrest him.
That was amazing. And you know who's gonna get rich too? His lawyers.
Yeah, it was a good game. It wasn't a good game. It was a bad game. Sorry, most of the NFL games were bad this weekend.
It was. It's not a good slate. Yeah. There was a lot of week 1 jitters. That's what I'm chalking it up to.
Yeah, there was a lot going on. There was. The Dolphins came out into the fourth quarter. I think that's when we saw offenses play. I think the fourth quarter of most games, we finally got to see offenses.
Everyone got loosened up a little, kind of getting in the rhythm.
Exactly. We started to see coaches figure out defenses. It's hard week 1. It is. You know what else is hard? It's hard being a Browns fan, Wes. It's got to be hard being a Browns fan. Now, you want to talk about
your
Dak
team
Prescott.
sucks, your quarterback sucks. Not only does he suck, he's an awful person.
Because he's accused again for sexual assault stemming from a date this time in 2020. That Deshaun Watson can go to jail.
This time, not a rub and tug.
Exactly. And Wes, here is something that you might need to know. The Browns, if he is found guilty, can void his contract.
Well,
that's the out they have.
It's a civil suit, isn't it?
Yeah, yes, but if he's found guilty, Wes, you cannot commit crimes. You can't just commit crimes. So it could allow them to void his contract like the Raiders did with Jimmy Garoppolo's contract when he did the steroids. Remember when he got popped with the PEDs? Well, now the Browns, if convicted of this crime, they can possibly waive Deshaun Watson's contract. Now, Deshaun Watson has one of the most ironclad contracts in the NFL. He's getting paid to be terrible. The clause in his contract, what he gets paid if they cut him, is insane. He could be the NFL's Bobby Bonilla, okay? But I just need to get that fact out there because I need to praise Baker Mayfield. Wow, the Browns have to feel stupid. Wow, they have to feel stupid. Baker Mayfield, when given good conditions, right? Not perfect, but good conditions, where he's supported, allowed to play, not hurt like he was in Cleveland his final year, he gave his whole body to that team. He's better than Deshaun Watson.
Oh, absolutely. Hands down. He's way better.
Yeah. And a better person.
Yeah. He's not a Hall of Fame quarterback, but he's a good quarterback. He's definitely a starting quarterback, and most teams, half of the league, would kill to have him.
And for he's going to be solid for 10 years, especially in a place like Tampa, where he's got a lot of talent around him. He can clearly play the game. Like, he's clearly got it. And when he is healthy, he's very good, and he just hasn't been healthy.
The issue here was Cleveland, not Baker.
Isn't it always? Isn't the
Cleveland
issue always?
Is a black hole. Like, it's just a dump. Sorry, Cleveland fans, but
where quarterbacks go to die, it is.
You're never going to win a Super Bowl, okay? You're like the Mariners. We're never going to win a World Series. You're never going to win a Super Bowl.
We just don't have time to talk baseball today.
I'm going to get it in because we suck.
Now, there was another quarterback in this game, the Browns game, the Browns versus the Cowboys.
Jaden Daniels, the only rookie quarterback who actually...
Browns played the Cowboys.
Oh, you're talking about that game. Sorry, I was going to the Baker Mayfield game. You're switching too much on me here, all right? It's One game at a time.
So yeah, but I'm running short on time, so you got to follow me. so the Browns played the Cowboys. And
Dak Prescott does not deserve that. Richest contract in history, my ass. What the hell has he done to deserve that money? He hasn't done shit. All he's done is choke in the playoffs, just like Tony Romo did. I'm tired of this. Why do we keep giving quarterbacks massive contracts? Because you want to keep him? Nobody else is going to pay that kind of money for him. They're going to tell him to get lost.
Yeah, it's the same with Trevor Lawrence, right? I just made the joke about Trevor Lawrence.
Stupid.
I made a joke about it. You're more bad about it. And this is the issue that I have.
Dumb.
It's not the best player. It's not a meritocracy in the NFL, right? It's not the best player makes the most money, because if that was the case, Patrick Mahomes' salary would be infinite. But it's literally the next player up is now the highest paid player. Okay, and it's Dak Prescott. If Jerry Jones had just paid Dak Prescott last year, he would not be paying him this money. He would not be. But he chose to be stubborn, and now he's overpaying for a Dak Prescott. And they got the win, but they're not going anywhere.
No,
because San Francisco looks unbeatable.
They're going to lose in the first round just like they did last year. Same new year, same story.
Yeah, and San Francisco just looks too good. Now, we could talk about the rookies. The rookies weren't great. The rookies were not great. We had Caleb. I'm trying to set you up for what you were talking about a second ago. So, Caleb Williams didn't play well, okay? The only reason the Bears won that game is because Will Levis gave them that game. Will Levis gave them the game. They had no business winning that game. He threw for 93 yards and did nothing else. Okay. Bo Nix threw for an average of 3 yards. One of the most boring, worst. 3 yards all the way to 163 yards. Shoot me in the face. Okay. That was awful. I mean, they almost won.
Geno Smith didn't look much better, okay?
They almost won because they had 2 safeties. But then we had Jaden Daniels. And you know what, Wes? Jaden Daniels looked pretty good. And both of us picked him to be the best rookie quarterback.
Yeah, we did. And I think he's going to turn out that way. But I think for the rest of them, it's week 1, new team, going to give them some slack. There's a lot of rookies who went on to have Hall of Fame careers that just were average their first year.
Yeah, I think the NFC South is a 2-horse race because the Falcons look like butt. We're going to see Michael Penix. We're going to see Michael Penix faster than we thought we were going to see Michael Penix. That's what I will tell you.
Oh, yeah.
Falcons were bad. Panthers. The Panthers. Hold on, the Panthers.
Raheem Morris. No, I'm going to stick with the Falcons. Raheem Morris is a crap coach, and he should have never been hired. I know I said that last year. I'm going to keep saying that again. They should have went with Bill Belichick.
So I've got 3 minutes. That's why I'm trying to push us.
Just let me do my thing.
All right, so the Saints finally look like they figured this out with Derek Carr. Of course, they were playing the Panthers, and again, Panthers, god-awful. Buccaneers look good. But yeah, Jaden Daniels playing against the Buccaneers, who I think are a playoff team this year, looked good. He runs the ball a lot better than I thought he would. He's almost like my new Josh Allen, where I was not familiar with how well he could run the ball and his escapability. Now just let's see if he can throw the ball. He does have receivers in Washington to throw the ball to. He's got a veteran tight end to throw the ball to. And I think we were right. I think it's going to be Jaden Daniels in Washington. But the problem is the Eagles look great. And again, why were we playing a game in Brazil on Friday night? The Eagles look really good. Jordan Love, man, 4 to 5 weeks. 4 to 5 weeks for Jordan Love with that MCL injury. Yeah, God, that one hurt because he was.
At least it's not good all season.
He looked good in that game, and you're right. And he doesn't have to go on the IR like Puka Nacua is gone.
I was gonna say JJ McCarthy, but
JJ McCarthy's gone for the season.
Yeah.
That ship has sailed, sir.
Yeah.
All right. And you know what other ship should sail?
Same thing, MCL.
The ship on Tom Brady. I'm not going to give Tom Brady grace. I never will. Sorry, Tom. You're a beautiful man. You're way more handsome than you deserve. You have 7 Super Bowls. You have a $300 million broadcasting contract, and you were bad. You're real bad.
Give him some time. Give him some time. All right.
Okay, you can't fix boring. Be less boring. Like, yeah, you can make mistakes in the booth, but you can't be
He's
boring.
moldable. He's great. He was taught to be the greatest quarterback of all time. All right? He can be taught to be a really good announcer.
You have faith. I have faith in Tom. Tom Terrific. Where's Tom Terrific? Now,
again, it's week 1. Everyone deserves some slack, including Tom Brady as an announcer.
He doesn't have to be great at everything.
Give him some slack. Okay. It's his first time, all right? He's a rookie.
You know what? He is a rookie broadcaster, but golly, Tom, what was that? That was an egg if I've ever seen one. He burped during the broadcast.
What's wrong with that? I would do the same thing.
Yeah, I mean, you're not fat because you run these triathlons, okay? But you are on Sundays. All of us are fat on Sundays, okay? We're all sitting on our couches or at a bar drinking beers. He's not. He's got to be a professional on Sundays.
I mean, you're right. I woke up in the morning and did a 45-mile bike ride, so.
But you're right. He is a rookie broadcaster, And Caitlin Clark is a rookie basketball player. And as we end the show, Wes, you were right about the Indiana Fever. You were
going
right.
to the playoffs, and she's going to be Rookie of the Year.
You said, I have a sneaky suspicion they're going to make it to the playoffs. You said, I think they're going to go on a run and make it. And you were right. They made it. They went on a run, and they made it to the playoffs.
They've won 8 of 9 since the Olympic break.
8 of 9.
And she's averaging like 26 points, 9 assists, and 5 rebounds per game. Something ridiculous like that.
She just needed rest, man. She just needed rest. She had no rest leading into the season.
That's what I was saying from the beginning.
Yeah, back to back to back to back, just getting run over, right? And now
she's going to be a monster next year.
Yeah, I think you're right. I think she's probably going to play in the 3-on-3 league. We'll see. They haven't reviewed that yet, but they have a 3-on-3 league coming out, going to be played in Miami. I believe it starts this offseason.
Give her the money.
We'll see. And Oregon girl, by the way, Sabrina Ionesco. Give her all the money.
Right?
She's amazing too. All right. Well, thank you so much, Wes. It's been fun. We had way too much to talk about. I think that's going to keep happening this entire NFL and college football season. It looks to be exciting, everything but the games. And we will hopefully have more exciting NFL games as we move forward into the future.
We still have MLB, don't forget.
Baseball exists. Thank you for joining us each and every week. We obviously had a busy show today because it was week 1. Trust us, we were going to narrow it down to the most important, most crucial things. But how the hell do you have so many things happen week 1 and not talk about it? We will see you next week.